It's Rollapitch, the show where we and a special guest have just 30 minutes to come up with the best new show you've never seen before.
And every time the bell rings, we have to roll a dice for new ideas that can make or break our show.
Hi, everybody. I'm Andrew, and I'm a writer.
Hi, I'm Patricia, and I'm a storyboard artist. And today we're going to meet our special guest. She was a storyboard director on Santiago the Seas at Nickelodeon, the supervising producer on Princess Power at Netflix, and she got her start as a character layout apprentice on the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water. It's Monica.
Hello.
Hey. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to our little show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. We all met, I think, at Nickelodeon when we were all kind of getting our starts. You were a little bit ahead of us. We were both, Patricia and I were production assistants, and were you a storyboard artist or a revisionist at that point on Wally Kazam?
I was a revisionist at that point. So, yeah, but Patricia and I had been interns together.
Oh, okay. So yeah. I was new to the group.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember sitting at my desk and then Monica comes in Monica, what are you doing?
I was like, I just started as an artist.
Yeah, that was way back in the day.
Oh, man, that was 10, 11. This year it'll be 11 years ago.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Wow.
I know. We're getting old.
Do you call it a career now that it's been that long?
It's weird calling it a career. I feel like, I don't know. Do you guys call it a career? Because anytime someone asks me what I do, I just kind of go I work in animation, and I don't go beyond that because I feel like I don't know because I've been fortunate to work on shows that are pretty fun. So I feel like it is a career, but it feels more like going to hang out with people and friends every day. And yeah, feels creative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I call it a career on my good years.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
On bad years, it's a little thing that I do sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I dabble.
Yeah.
Yeah, calling it a career sounds like suit and tie type job.
Yeah, it's funny because ironically, I do career day at the local elementary school.
Oh.
I've done it for the past couple of years because my neighbor's a teacher there, and everyone that's there for career day is I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I'm a fireman, and it's I'm the one who's I'm an artist, so which is cool because I think it's important to show the kids that yes, it actually is something that you can do, getting to draw every day for a living, getting to write every day for a living, but it is very surreal being oh man, compared to every other job, this is a very different one. Yeah.
Nice. So I've seen a lot of your work because we worked together on Wally Kazam and then on Shimmer and Shine. And I've always loved your art style. So I had a question so obviously everybody has a different art style, but then you get onto a show, especially a big network show, where there are certain rules and proportions that you're supposed to stick to, but everybody's boards were still very kind of unique to their styles. So where is this a thing that you even think about? How do you blend the two where you're trying to meet the structure of the show and the rules of the show, but still keep your own style, which gives it more life than just a board that looks exactly like what the show is going to look like?
Yeah, for me, I think what helps is usually when I start on a show, I ask them what are the rules of the show? Is there anything that you particularly like, that you want to see, that you don't want to see? So I know with Shimmer and Shine, when I started season 2, and that's when they went CG. So they really wanted to push more the 3D space and do all the stuff that you can't really do in 2D. So that was something that they're yeah, if you can push that, if you can go a little bit, cinematic and cinematic compared to a flat 2D show is okay, we'll throw in some over the shoulder shots and have characters walk 3/4 to camera instead of directly off the screen. And on Wally Kazam, the rules were different because it was a CG show, but it had like 2D cards in it. So we had to be very careful with, okay, well, we can't like turn the camera 3/4 because this card is going to look super flat. It's going to be super obvious. So that's kind of like right. I find usually on a show, I try to find the boundaries of, okay, like what are the limitations within where I can play, and then kind of go off of that. I know with SpongeBob too, that was a very unique experience in the sense that it was character layout. So I had to be exactly on model. Like in that sense, the board artist had already put like the humor and the like all the ideation was already in there. My job was to now take what they did and hose it out. So that was a little bit more like you're not really supposed to throw in anything extra.
Right.
Because all the stuff they've done has already been approved versus like when you're in a position of being like a board artist or a writer, it's a little bit more like, oh, I can try things and just give it a little bit of that, kind of comedy. That's my favorite thing to do. Is I feel like that's also usually why I'm brought on a show, is because I like to add gags and like add those moments. And I have friends that are very cartoony that draw in a way that like I'm never going to push the pose as far as they do, because they take it to like the like next level, and it's their brain is functioning on a completely different like stratosphere than mine. But my strength is that I can come in and add like a fun joke, a fun gag that's like very visual. And so I feel like that's when I get hired a lot on shows, is like that, like, well, what's, Monica's good at adding stuff, like, and this show needs it. So what's she going to do? Like,
Right.
And to me, those are the most fun shows, when you kind of just let the crew be like, all right, like, this is the sandbox. You get to play as much as you want in it. Just don't jump out of it, because then it becomes
right. Keep the sand in the box, but otherwise have at it.
Yeah, I feel like you get more creative too that way when you put those like limitations.
What are some things that you lean towards for comedy? What do you watch for comedy that either inspires you or as like a break from, like, if I'm writing kids stuff, then I come home and I don't necessarily watch kids stuff, but I watch something else adventurous or educational. So what do you go for comedy?
I think what I really like with comedy is, and I don't watch these shows nearly enough, but when I do, it's like I'm studying them. Shows like that have a very simple premise that's not like a big, we have to save the world kind of thing, but just a straightforward like problem of the day kind of comedy style show. Like those are the ones that I like to watch, because comedy plays well when it's simple. If you start to overcomplicate it, it becomes a totally different story and your audience has a hard time following it. So I just watched a little bit of KIF, which is on Disney, right? And the premise of the episode that I was watching, I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but I watched a bit of it, is that KIF likes to be the first at doing everything. And that the problem in the episode is that she has to stay home from school, but they're putting in a new water fountain and she's like, I have to be the first to use it. Like I can't not be there. And to me, that's such a fun, like that. It's so simple, right? She wants to be the first one to use a water fountain, but it's so damn funny. Like being like, oh my God, this is really what she's going to risk everything for, is like this insane desire. But it pulls you back to when you're a kid and you're like, oh yeah, that would have been my, like I would have given up everything to have like done that too. Like Turning Red, I think, is another good example of that, where, the stakes are really like, on the surface, it's like they want to go to this concert. Like that whole movie is around the fact that they have this concert they really want to go to. And that's just so relatable. Like when it's something that you're like, oh yeah, like I never thought, like I would never think to write an episode about, being the first one to use a water fountain at a concert or whatever, but it pulls you back to when you were a kid, and then it's just that much funnier. I feel like that's the kind of comedy that awakens something internal, in you, and just makes you like laugh, like, and you're like, I didn't expect it. That's my favorite kind of comedy, when it just kind of comes out of nowhere. I I say that being someone who also loves watching, you know, like Arcane and like those more like adult oriented shows. But Arcane is definitely, like you were saying, like, yeah, after I spend the whole day working on something comedic or, you know, what have you, I sometimes am just like, I just want to watch something totally different just to
Balance
have a
it out.
little bit of that. There's only so much sugar you can have before you're like something that's like salty, right? But to caveat that, I also, now I can actually talk about it. So I'm actually happy we pushed this episode.
Oh, okay.
So they just premiered yesterday. I boarded and directed these shorts for Pokemon, which was a huge like bucket list thing for me because I'm a big Pokemon fan.
Congrats again on that.
Thank
awesome.
you. I'm so excited. You can see my Pokemon plushies that are up there. There's more hidden behind.
I only know so many names. Who's the green? Is that the green leaf dragon?
Sprigatito.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the starters are Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxley.
Quaxley.
In this generation.
Yeah.
So wait, which generation is it on?
I don't even know anymore. Like I am a fan, but I'm not that knowledgeable of like the specific.
It's like X and Y is as far as I know.
Yeah, for me, I'm just like, I know what the latest is, but I cannot for the life of me tell you what like the 5th generation was or anything like that. Like my brain will not absorb any of it. But I'm a fan, and I, you know, when I was a kid, like I played the games and I collected the cards and all this stuff. So it was a huge thing for me. And while I was working on these shorts, which were they were part of a marketing campaign for the DLC for Pokemon Violet Scarlet, which is the latest generation until Pokemon Legends AZ comes out. That's a different story. But I was working on these while Pokemon Horizons, the anime, was being released on Netflix. So for the past like almost year, I had been working on these shorts, and they released the anime in Japan, and then it finally came here and it's on Netflix in the States. And I would like watch, like what ended up happening was I would board Pokemon all day. And then at night I was like, I have to watch more Pokemon. Like, and it was a little bit like research and a little bit like, because Pokemon Horizons takes place in the same generation as the shorts that just came out. So, but it was also just like, it got me so much more excited for Pokemon again. Like, you know, when you're a fan of something and then like you go through stages with it, or you're like, I'm going to rewatch all the like stuff. And then you finish it, you're like, cool. And it's a couple months. And then you like go through it again and you're like, I watched again. Like that's what I did with Pokemon. So that was the one case in which it was like, oh, okay. Like I'm gonna keep going at night. I'm just going to keep on this Pokemon. It's
fun to indulge sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. And I also like, I play video games too. And that kind of scratches that itch of I like when someone tells me a story because I spend the whole day creating a story. So at night, it's nice to be like, I'll just watch. Yeah. Tell me a story. I don't have to worry about the plot. You just, I'm not the one making it. You're making it for me.
They should send you a free game when it releases.
I was like, oh my God, do you think Pokemon people get like free like cheat codes and stuff? Well, I finally get Herba Mystica, which is notoriously difficult to get, and I did not ask. But I did get a very, very cool Christmas card.
Oh,
that's really cute with Pikachu on it, and I want to frame it because it's really pretty. So
we are unfortunately out of time with questions and talking because now we're about to transition into the real meat of the show, where we're going to have 30 minutes to come up with the best new show that nobody's ever seen before. And then we're going to immediately shoot an email off to the Apples of the world and see what they say about it. So then the first question, or the question that we ask everybody as we're going into this, where we'll pull up the art and we'll start drawing and doodling and talking about it, is what is a type of show that you would want to see more of, or that you've never seen before, or something that you would, what's the one, if you had $1 billion that could make a show?
I really want to see more of, I say this as someone who's only seen the first episode because I've been really busy, but Gentry Chow versus the Underworld, that first episode was so epic. And I loved the, like, you know, she's 16, it's magic, but it's demons and it's horror and it's a curse and all the things that that show felt like all the things you're constantly told, like, oh, this does not, like, we're not buying this doesn't work, like, it's not for preschool, it's not for 6 to 11, it's not for a straight adult. Like, that show broke all the rules, and that's what I want to see more of, just because I was like, oh, that was so good. Like, just that kind of feeling that, you know, it's not just for kids, it's not just for adults, it can be for anyone to watch it just because it's good.
I have to check that out.
I'm transitioning over to start writing notes for this.
Yeah.
For all ages.
For all ages. Yeah, what they call it, 4 quadrant. Yeah. That classic term. Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, I mean, 4 quadrant. I feel like if I had to pick a movie, it would be Sonic. That's the one I kind of wish I had done. Like, when I think like, oh, I wish I had, like, directed a movie, Sonic.
Well, I mean, they haven't made a Zelda movie yet, so
that's still. Well, they're in talks to make one. But so you like that kind of mystical element?
Yeah, I like when there's that kind of mystery, but it's also grounded. It's not like one of my friends pointed out once that he doesn't like movies or shows with magic because he feels like it's a crutch. Like, the whole time he watches it, he's like, why can't you just use magic to, like, solve all this stuff? But I like when it's like going back to that simplicity, like in Gentry Chow, it's not that she can just use magic, right? It's not really magic that she's using to save the day. It's powers.
Yeah, right. A set of rules that you know what those rules are.
Yeah, pretty straightforward rules. And in her case, like, her powers make everything worse. So it's that nice when I also like it when there's, like, a metaphor, you know, like Turning Red. I really loved that metaphor of the panda as, like, you know, it's puberty. It's learning to control your emotions. It's learning to also let them out and not hide yourself. But because it feels like tropey when shows. I don't like shows when they feel like their Saturday morning lesson. If that makes sense. Or Saturday afternoon after school lesson thing, I guess, whatever that term is. I like when it's a little bit more symbolic. You know, you're letting the audience interpret. You're not shoving them in the face with, this is the moral.
Right.
You know, Zootopia did that really well. I feel like that was one where it was a movie where it could have easily just have been like, racism's bad, but that's not what the movie's about. It's like, yeah, we all know racism's bad, like, but it's about, like, what happens when you think you're a good person and you're actually the problem. Like,
right.
I love that it was a deeper understanding of it.
Very true.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's a panda, right?
That's my attempt at a panda.
Okay.
I am full disclosure, I'm the least artistic in this room.
You're a writer.
Yeah.
That's your superpower.
So what? Okay. So with, like, this kind of show, we're looking at main characters. We're looking at what's the world like. I have not seen the show that you're talking about, but I wonder if is it like a Earth world, or is it like a more Hyrule type of, they made up a fantasy world?
It's like a real world. It's like no one knows she has these powers. It's like a normal Texas town, and
okay.
Yeah, they don't suspect anything, and so they're using real places too. Like, the show starts with her in South Korea, and she's to come back to Texas. So yeah, it's grounded in that real element.
So do you want that? Is that what you're thinking for this world of this show now? Should we keep it Earth based? Do we want to keep it somewhere that we all know, LA based, or?
I like keeping it Earth based. I like keeping it
Yeah.
LA. LA just has such a character to it.
Uh-huh.
I feel like it works nicely. Also because LA has so many different, it has a character in and of itself, but it's also got specificity depending on where you are in LA. Like it's wildly different. Like Malibu's not going to be the same as like Burbank.
Right.
Very different places.
I feel like if you were to make a show, Monica, like I feel like there would be a video game attached to it. Like either you would create your own video, like how there's like shows in TV or like movies that are spin-offs of games, like you would do the other way. Like you would make a show and then create a game spin-off off of what you made. I feel like that'd be perfect.
I would be the person that would be like, oh, you did the Sonic movie and you've got the games and stuff. Can I please make a Knuckles game?
Yeah.
So, because I love Idris Elba. So, I want him.
Oh, is he the voice of?
He's Knuckles.
Knuckles, yeah. Right? Yeah.
Keanu Reeves is Shadow. So, like, yeah, that's. I feel like that would be pretty fun. I would love to be the person that's like, can you, like, we have this idea. Can you make it work?
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of what most of my jobs end up being, which is nice.
Yeah, that sounds fun though, because you get to like expand on the character and everything.
Yeah, and it's also like when you're trying to create something from scratch. I mean, you guys know how hard it is when you're sitting there going like, oh, like it could be anything, but it's fun to kind of partner up with someone when they're like, I have this cool idea. You're like, wow, I never would have thought of that. Yeah, that is cool. Like, what do you need me to do? Like,
right.
I'm all in. He's drawing Sonic. Let's see. What can you change the color on this? There we go.
Yeah. There's all sorts of textures and colors.
It's hard to get.
Are we thinking human kid? Because obviously LA based. So is it? Do you want kid? Do you want middle-aged adult? What are we looking at?
I think teenager would be cool.
Teen, yeah. So like middle, early high school.
Yeah, like freshman, sophomore, because that's more complicated. Like freshman year, so young,
Yeah, sophomore year, you kind of already know what to expect, but it still sucks.
Yeah, you're kind of like, oh, I don't have any excuse for being stupid. This is my attempt at Sonic from memory.
That's really good.
Thank you. I feel like Liza Singer would do a perfect Sonic from memory. They're a huge fan.
Oh my gosh.
What else can I draw? I'm going to draw Cora.
So we got, let's see, high school sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
Set rules of powers for them?
Yes, they have powers that can transport them into any alternate dimension.
Ooh,
that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Is it something that they're slowly discovering that they have, or they already know about it and they're like just going on adventures at this point?
They have just discovered that they have it and they cannot control it.
Okay.
nice. I'm wondering what an alternate dimension might look like. Like if it's a very similar to our world, but something is slightly off.
Yeah, it's like the upside down, basically.
Right. We just had a timer go off, which means that now I'm going to pull up. We got some network notes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
These are fun. These are always fun.
So we have 20 network notes. You can't see them, but I have them pulled up on my screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a dice, a 20-sided dice. Roll that dice, and we're going to see what network. We're going to roll that dice, and we're going to see what network node we got. let's see. I rolled an 11, which is... Oh, okay.
Oh no.
It's Age It Down.
Oh, that's a classic.
I will say that
experience for Monica.
if we eventually roll a 3, we'll age it back up. But for now, we have to age it down.
Oh my gosh.
So
Okay.
the question is, do we age the character down? Can we try that? Do we age the show down?
I feel like at that point, just age the show down, because I don't know any teenager who's going to want to watch a show about like, it's a 12-year-old. Make it a 12-year-old who finds out they have powers, and then it's a show for 6 to 11.
Ah, okay.
I've learned some things in Dev.
That is true. There is, I think with like co-viewing, there's a lot more co-viewing nowadays. And just kids in general, they tend to watch up. They want to see a character who they can grow into as opposed to watching down. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense that it's a 6 to 11. It's I guess SpongeBob is like the one that comes to mind with 6 to 11, but there's a lot more.
Yeah, Owl House, SpongeBob.
Owl House, that's a good one.
Yeah, like what else? Loud House also. Anything with house.
House, the TV show.
House, the TV show. That's very adult. Don't let your kids watch House.
Mom, I think I'm dying. My tummy
It's
hurts.
lupus.
Oh no.
Then you can just travel to an alternate dimension where you don't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, right? That's how you solve the medical mysteries. You're like, okay, it just doesn't exist anymore.
For these alternate dimensions, are we... I guess one thought that comes up would you see this as 2D, CG, or a mix of a lot of different things? Because with an alternate dimension, you can do a lot of like mixed media stuff.
I would do 2D because it would be a pain in the butt to have to build a new set every time. And then I'd have to, the budget would just explode, and they'd be like, all right, you get like half a set every 3 episodes.
One dimension per season.
Yeah, just one. It's like I think it was Mighty Ones that did an episode that they completely like changed the style of the show for one episode. And I was like, what was the budget? Like, that's such a cool idea, but you usually do not get to do that.
It's like those when they do the Rankin Bass like Christmas episodes where you get one stop motion episode per year and that's it.
Yeah. And then you gotta balance it out with a clip show. Like Legend of Korra had a really good clip show. They did a really great job with it.
I missed that one.
That was such a good one.
Also kind of reminds me, like, when Rick and Morty, when they travel, do the styles change sometimes, right? Or they had some like special episodes where their styles mimicked something else.
Yeah, I think that I've seen them do different things where I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like they did like they do a special or something. And you're like, oh, that's so cool. Like usually don't get to do that. And it fits the story too. Like they're not just doing it because they can do it. They're doing it because it actually makes sense. Also probably just because they can do it. But yeah. Like it's entertaining and it's done well. I'm drawing Waffle.
Oh my god.
Oh.
I gotta give her boba paws. She just be a show about Waffle.
Oh, there she is. I was like, my screen is all minimized. I'm like, where is she?
Now I'm wondering, because I like dogs and I like pets, should it be, I don't know if I've seen a lot of shows with people whose dogs have a special power too. So she has to, if this character has a dog who helps her with some power, she can go to alternate dimensions, but then her dog has the rest of the powers. To
like complete it?
Right. She has to carry him along. So now you have a dog that has its own wants and needs.
I love that. Yes. Yeah, the dog is the partner, and like when they go in the dimensions does this dog actually talk.
Oh, that sounds
now
fun.
a question is who voices that?
I want Idris Elba to voice this dog.
Oh.
Like, it's the cutest dog in the world with like the deepest, most commanding voice.
Uh-huh.
I love it.
And is this like Perry the Platypus, where it's clearly he's in his own world, in his own mind? Or is it's Idris Elba playing a dog who also happens to have special powers?
Second one.
Yeah. So he's every so often, oh, hi, May. My cat just walked in and yelled at me.
Yes.
Speaking of special powers, hi.
So nice. She has wants and needs as well.
She does. She is telling me it is dinner time. What are you doing?
Oh.
Aww.
Give me a bowl.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I want to hear
this
Idris
dog,
Elba.
who's the second in command, basically. So we have a kid who has these powers they can't control. It sends them into other dimensions with their dog, and their dog is exceedingly smart, but not like their dog is not smart enough to actually help them when they can't speak. Their dog is only smart enough to actually explain things like a quest like that. Like if you guys have played Ocarina of Time, the dog is like that owl that keeps.
Oh no! Yeah.
Yeah, like completely useless when you don't speak with them. But they will not shut up when you do talk to them.
I love it. I'm getting a little bit of that myself right here. May.
And then plot twist, the dog at the end of the season is revealed to have been sending them, actually the one who's controlled hopping into all the dimensions. That's why our main character was like, I can't control my powers. It's like, actually, dude, it wasn't you the whole time. You had no powers. It was the dog the whole time. Plot twist.
Super plot twist. Oh my god.
It was the dog the whole time.
You can never let the dog run away.
Never. Actually, if I had to pick like a cameo for this, like second option for a voice actor, Stephen King. Just because I want to hear him voice a dog.
Oh.
That'd be pretty cool.
I don't know if he can act.
It'd be good. You wanna oh, what's it called? Just a raw take from somebody who's not trying to try too hard.
Yeah.
Idris Elba, he's gonna give you a really Shakespearean performance, but someone who does not act is gonna give you real dog.
Like I just want to put Stephen King in a booth and just be like, speak.
Speak. Eat this bone. Show him this biscuit.
Don't tell him anything about what the story actually is.
Oh yeah. Just read the lines, yeah.
Yeah, just read the lines. We'll pay you at scale.
What let's see. We want some antagonists. And I'm trying to think of with LA having different neighborhoods and different like characteristics for these neighborhoods. The other world or other oh no. We were flying through this and we just got some more network notes, unfortunately.
Ooh, what's the network note now?
Let's see. So I'm gonna pull them up. There we go. I'm gonna roll some dice. It landed just directly on 5.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, now we need to do a podcast tie-in.
Oh, okay. Podcast. You get Stephen King to talk about his books. He still has no idea what the show's about.
Oh my gosh.
Right. That'd be funny because they're going into other dimensions. So the girl and her dog go into a dimension where it's just a podcast booth and they're trying to get out. But Stephen King is like, thinks he's there for an interview.
Yeah.
And then the dog thinks he can just chew on a microphone the whole time. So all three of them want something different.
Yep.
Immediate comedy.
There you go. It's like what would it be like? Kind of like Waiting for Godot.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that vibe, just that vibe. Nothing else happens in that episode except all of them waiting for some way to get out of this podcast booth.
And then they'd get out by actually recording an episode in the end.
They decided to record like a true crime podcast.
Ooh. Does Stephen King have glasses? I guess I should just look up a picture of him, but I'm not going to.
I think he does.
He does.
He's a writer. He should have glasses. I know my vision's shot. I wear contacts.
Yeah, I looked him up. In most of his pictures, he has glasses.
He also has a corgi.
He does?
Yeah.
Is he the main
corgi
character?
can be trapped in the booth with him.
Kitty!
Oh, yeah, she came into view, and now I got to move her because I don't want her stepping on keys and deleting everything. That should be it. In an alternate dimension, she turns into Stephen King, and the dog turns into the little corgi.
Yes. Molly, the thing of evil. So that would be draw a corgi. I would say this show should be about a corgi, but I've already worked on a show about a corgi, so it's been done already.
Oh yeah, Dogs in Space.
Yeah. That was actually that was one of my most fun experiences ever on a show, and it was during COVID. You wouldn't think that working on a show during COVID would actually be easy, but it was really fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good team. It's got its tiny stumpy tail.
Oh, that's right. Before the bell rang, I was trying to figure out who are our antagonists.
The antagonist is a corgi.
Oh.
Is it Stephen King's corgi?
It is Stephen King's corgi.
His corgi.
It's her evil alter ego. So if Molly, the thing of evil, is actually good, then this is Polly. The thing of good is actually evil.
Ooh.
Polly and Molly.
Yeah. So
she's traveling into these different dimensions to. Is she my wife is watching a lot of The Librarian lately, and that is a lot of stealing artifacts. Is she stealing things from different dimensions to try to build this super weapon?
Yes, she is, because she's horrible. There's Molly and Polly.
Oh, and when they go into those different dimensions, it's a swap. So the girl, her dog turns into Idris Elba and can talk. But in those other dimensions, the corgi just turns into a corgi.
Yes.
And then in the real world, the corgi is the only talking creature.
Yes, and your cat agrees.
She definitely agrees. Oh my goodness. If we went into an alternate dimension, I don't know what you would sound like. This is the cat episode.
This is the cat episode. Dogs. My cat was meowing earlier, so be happy that she's not meowing now, because her meows carry.
Oh.
Or what if we run with the dog versus cat trope? And then Polly's actually a twin, but a cat twin.
Polly is just 15 cats in a trench coat.
Oh my god.
Jessica's worst nightmare. All these cats just spill out of this body.
Just a bunch of cats.
A bunch of cats coming out. And they're all those hairless cats.
Oh no, that is super scary.
Oh, I've never pet one of them. And I am very curious what it would feel like.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone told me that apparently they're very nice. They're very sweet. but they look so evil.
Yeah, because they don't have fur. Don't you have to like oil their skin or something to like keep it?
They're all like wrinkled too. Like they always look like angry, like these wrinkled hairless cats. And this is the closest I can get to drawing a hairless cat. And they're like super skinny and like.
Do they have whiskers? They have whiskers, right?
I think so.
That's a good question because they don't have anything else.
Yeah, what do these cats have?
Oh no! If like whiskers truly are, they help them not bump into things and know where they are, and hairless cats are just constantly bumping into walls.
And that's what makes them bitter and the perfect villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, is this your hairless cat at the bottom, Patricia?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like dogs.
This is perfect. We usually will try to end by thinking of a title. And also suspense. We have 30 seconds before the last network note comes in.
Oh man. Let's see, dimensions. We want to go like full baby reindeer and like pick a title that doesn't really make sense until you watch like, the last episode or something.
Yes. Or Steve. Or go with Stephen King or King.
The King story.
Cat. King Dog. Oh,
King
there's
Cat.
the bell.
I like King Cat.
And then you're like, where's the cat the whole time?
Yeah, we'll find out at the end.
All right. I just pulled up the network notes. We got one more. This could make or break it. Let's see. I rolled a 6, which is, oh no, a taking care of a new baby animal episode.
Oh.
That is a staple in a lot of shows, especially younger shows.
Yes. They have to take care of a corgi puppy who is as evil, who's even more evil than Polly.
Right. Somehow out of the deepest dimension crawled this disgusting creature that everybody fears for all generations, and it turns out to be this one little corgi.
Yes. This corgi puppy who's actually like the demon spawn of Satan.
Oh my gosh.
That's going to be our little episode.
That's perfect. So I think we got it. It's potentially called King Cat. Title to be determined. We've got our characters. We've got our setting. We've got some villains. I think my cat thinks that it's ready to send out. We're good to go.
I think so. Send it off to the streamers, man.
Well, thank you for being a part of our show.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited. Do you have other episodes I can listen to?
We will, by the time this one comes out, we will have at least one other that has come out before. But the time of recording, it should come out in another week or so.
I'm excited. Can you say who it is?
It was Barben Yosef. She is a writer, producer. She was on Slumberkins as a story editor.
Oh, okay.
And she's a co-creator of, it's on BBC, so I didn't know about it before, but Roots and Fruits, which is fruits and vegetables singing in like a reality show, concert show kind of format.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Yeah. Her episode was crazy.
Yeah, the show we came up with in that one, which people have already seen if they're watching this one, very fun, very unique.
It was not full of Stephen King inspired corgis.
Surprisingly not, but that's what we want. We want to get into the brain of creators and be like, how do we all work together? How do we come up with something? How do people come up with something? I'm trying to figure that out because I don't know.
I don't know either, man.
Because I'm tired of seeing sequels. So yeah, so far all the ideas have been very like, oh, I haven't seen that before, and that's really fun. So yeah.
Awesome.
Well, perfect.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we to give you the spotlight. Is there? You already talked about Pokemon, but is there anything coming out that you want to announce or talk about, or where can we find your stuff?
Where can you find my stuff? So I'm on Instagram at Monica C. Davila. So it's just my name. I also have a portfolio site, which is just monicadavila.com. I have to link my Pokemon shorts there sometime this weekend. Do I have any? I have stuff coming out, but it's all under NDA. But it's stuff that I'm very excited about. So
tell us everything. Break the NDA. We don't care.
It's all I can say that it is. It's a lot of IP. I feel like 2024 was the year of working on really big IP, which was great because it was. IP is sometimes a little scary when it's really big, because you're like, oh, there's like a fandom attached to it, and there's like. And then you're sometimes a fan of it. So you're like, I don't want to mess it up. Like, I don't want to be that person. But no, it was really fun IP to work on where you're like, oh, cool. There's like, yes, there are rules to it, but there is a lot of freedom to kind of make it fun and approach it from the standpoint of like, oh yeah, I want to see this. Like, so soon I will be able to talk about stuff I've worked on.
Cool. That's awesome.
Slowly things are coming out. Thank God.
Yeah.
And then we'll interview you again.
Thanks for watching. Have you gotten some funny network notes on your shows? Share them with us, and maybe we'll include them next time on Roll a Pitch.